Good morning, dear children. Today, in your English class, we will be discussing the third extract. Read the extract given below and answer the question that follows. The stanzas taken are the last 22 stanzas, children. The last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. Their locks held tight in death's still hands was proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. So these two stanzas the writer has taken, and small questions are there, children. First one, explain the phrase forlorn group. Which figure of speech is used here? So the phrase forlorn group is an example of oxymoron. You all know, children, in oxymoron we use a pair of contradictory terms. So here we have forlorn is a lonely, very sad and lonely, and group, number of people all together. So lonely and number of people all together, both the terms are contradictory. So this phrase is an example of oxymoron. You will answer like this, children, and please see to it that you are writing the full-fledged sentences and you are again using the keywords, children. They are very important. So the phrase, you will begin with the answer. The phrase forlorn group is an example of oxymoron, that is a pair of contradictory terms, full stop. Then the second part of the answer. Which figure of speech is used here? This phrase is ironical as it refers to these six people who were sitting together in a group and were sad and lonely. You have to properly give it the answer in two parts. The phrase, explain the phrase forlorn group. The phrase forlorn group is an example of oxymoron. You have answered it, children. That is a pair of contradictory term, and the meaning is, children, this phrase, that is you are explaining it, is ironically as it refers to these six people who were sitting together in a group and were sad and lonely. The second question, what game is the poet referring to while mentioning the last man of the group? So it is the selfish game of give and take that the last man employs. Since anyone else does not offer his log to renew the fire, he also steps back. So he is very, very selfish, and he just is playing the game of selfishness. So the answer is the selfish game of give and take that the last man employs, since else everyone else does not offer his log to renew the fire. He also steps back. This is the answer, children. See what proof of human sin is being referred to here, and you have to explain it properly. So the proof of human sin. All the six people died with their logs tightly clutched in their hands. Their indifference, animosity, discrimination invited death. This is the proof of human sin which is referred here. Then the fourth one, the poet says that the characters died from the cold within. What does he mean? The title of the poem, The Cold Within, is symbolic of lack of warmth and compassion in human beings. Six human beings are caught against their will in bleak and bitter cold. But none of them uses the wooden stick each one has due to racism, envy, arrogance, revenge, and greed. They are so cold from inside that they do not realize that by not helping others, they themselves will perish. Their cold heartedness invites death in the end, and they die with their logs held tight in their hands. So this is the answer, children. You have to tell the meaning of what does the poet means when he says that the characters, they died from the cold within. The fifth question, what message is the poet trying to convey in the poem? How does he succeed in carrying out his task? The message that the poet tries to give is that discriminatory attitude and hatred that humans have against one another on the basis of race, class, and religion is futile. It is self destructive. This is the message, children, the poet is trying to convey. And then, how change the para and write the second part of the question, children? How does he succeed in carrying out his task? The poem projects discrimination based on race, class, and religion by narrating the story of six individuals who are caught together by chance in extreme cold. The people in the poem are from different backgrounds and religions. Owing to their prejudices against one another, it becomes difficult for them to put their stick into the fire. The discrimination, racism, and bigotry proves futile as none of the six people stay alive at the end. Each perish not because of the cold outside but of the cold heartedness within each. So, this is the thing the poet tries to convey to us, and he succeed in carrying out his task. He has made us understand how these six people die because they were full of prejudices, indifferences, and they died because of the cold heartedness within each one of them. So now you have to write down these answers, children, in your workbook. Your workbook has the space where lines are made, children, drawn, and you have to write the answers. I have discussed the answers with you of this very extract number 3. Now, one extra extract I'll be posting in your Google Classroom. The questions I'll be posting, children, and that extract, that is an extra exercise which you have to do not in the workbook but in your English copies. Now you can make your English fair copies, children, where one extract I'll give and you have to do the questions I'll be giving you, children. First of all, you try to answer it in your rough copy. Afterwards, I'll discuss in our next lecture that very question, and then we will do something in your in letters. The next lecture we'll go for letters, informal letters we will be doing, understanding how to write and the correct format. This is all for today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.